Hey everyone, I'm here bringing a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, Global is getting 3 LR EZAs, and we're going to be going over its details and showing you how to complete the Extreme Z battles, showing you their weaknesses, and a team build discussion. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. And what 3 EZAs are we talking about? Well, it's LR MVP 17 for Universe 7 team, and then you have the MVP 17 and Golden Frieza, and then the LR full power Jiren. This was a surprise because this was supposed to be the substitute for the Super Vegito and the Buhan EZA, because that's what happened for the 9-year anniversary on JP. And little did we know that these were going to EZA along with the introduction of LR Tech UI Goku, right? So the clues were there, and then all of a sudden we got, you know, a big chunk of the Tanabata celebration. So we'll see if they're going to try to fit in an LR Jiren, the AGL Jiren, before the worldwide celebration, but that's a whole different topic. Let's go ahead and dive into these units. Let's start with Jiren. I think that's going to be a good start here. So this is the Majesty of Mighty Jiren full power. The leader skill does get boosted up for Universe 11 and Universal Survival Saga for 170%. When the AGL Jiren comes out, it's pretty much worthless because that's going to be 200%. And you know, for Universal Survival Saga, we already have like Tech UI Goku and some other units that have a better leader skill than just 170. So unfortunately, like most LRs, yellow coin LRs, that is, the leader skill is pretty much worthless. Super attack here, the 12 key greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to enemy, and greatly lowers defense. Then you have the ultra super attack, 18 key massively raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes mega colossal damage to enemy, and massively lowers defense, and a high chance of stunning the enemy as well. So this unit here got a lot of boost here. It ended up getting a attack and defense 300%, reduction of damage by 30% for 1 turn from the character's entry turn. I wish they would have provided like 11 turns or something like this to make this a better slot 1 unit, because that's what Universe 11 that team generally needs. So I wish that was the case. But on top of that, you get a plus additional attack and defense 100% and guards against all attacks if HP is 40% or more, which is generally speaking, you will have that. So you do have the ability to guard, but that damage mitigation would have helped out tremendously. And then if HP is 80% or less from the start of the turn, starting from the 5th turn from the character's entry turn, or HP is 40% or less, plus an additional attack defense 200% starting from that turn. I think they could have easily kept guard or boosted up to 300% because the stats isn't just good enough. And if you're under 40%, you're going to be in very, very tough shape. Key plus 3 attack and key plus 3 with each attack received up to 11. Launches additional super attack starting from the turn in which the character has received the 3rd attack in the battle. That's important here because you do need to really boost them up with that greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn there. And attacks effect is against all types. Then perform a critical hit when the target enemy is attack status down or defensive down, or stun. So any debuffs, you'll be automatic crit. This was changed from effective against all types to crit hits, which is very strong if you're fighting against an enemy that you can debuff here. So like a Cell Max, actually, this unit can benefit when you're doing that. So disables enemies attack action once within the turn with key is 24, and that's going to be very, very important there. So you might disable a super attack, and that's always the RNG portion of things, but that's very, very important. So active skill here, attack and defense 30% to all enemies, on all enemies. Attack and defense 30%, and then all enemies attack and defense minus 30% if they can get debuffed. Stun against all enemies for 1 turn, and then can be activated when you receive 5 attacks or more in the battle. Link skills are okay, right? Supreme Warrior, Shocking Speed, Infighter, Godly Power, Tournament of Power, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. And he's on a decent amount of categories, and the stats are pretty decent as well. Those are your best link partners. So I guess all in all, I think Jiren is fine. I wish they would have helped him out to be that first slot individual. Like they could have just also put down, like for example, if a representative of Universe 7 is attacking the same turn, reduce damage by 30%, or 11% per Universe 11, because what I wanted to build was a full Universe 11 team, but again, we're missing one slot 1 unit to make that happen. So anyway, that is the EZA to Jiren. Let's go ahead and move on to Universe 7, the MVP 17 team here. Again, you know, leader skill, it really doesn't matter, right? Representative Universe 7, 170%, and then I still don't know why they didn't boost these up to like 130 or something like that, but super int, 100% there. This unit's actually pretty good if you're going to run a full universe representative Universe 7 team. So it is it's a single team that this unit is actually good on, and it's unfortunately restricted that way, but we'll talk about 17 and Golden Frieza in a second, where they're unrestricted and fantastic unit. So you have massively raises attack for 1 turn, causes cost damage enemy, and raises attack and defense for 30% for allies, which is very strong there. However, you're generally never going to run this in first position, so kind of a waste. Then you have causes mega cost damage enemy, raises allies attack and defense for 30%, chance of performing a critical hit by 7% for 2 turns, which is nice. And here's where kind of some of the restrictions is important here. So attack and defense 177%, which is a little bit low, but you do get a lot of other boosts here. Key +1 up to 5, and then reduces damage by 7% up to 35%, and chance of performing a critical hit up 35% per representative Universe 7 category ally on the team. So you just really have to make sure there are 5 on the team, and which is basically your full team. So it's important to have all this because of this, you know, this damage mitigation here. But on top of that, plus an additional attack defense 77%, an additional damage reduction 17%, and an additional chance of performing critical hit 17% when there are 5 or more representative categories and allies in the team. So 5 here to max this out, 5 here to also get this as well. So again, you kind of have to just run this on a representative Universe 7 team. So randomly change the key spheres, certain type, int excluded to rainbow key spheres, and when HP is 77% or less, and then plus an additional attack defense 77% with key is 17 or more. That's pretty easy to do. And then plus another 77% launches additional super attack when key is 22 or more. Again, that feels like it's pretty easy there as well. Plus an additional key +3 per rainbow key sphere obtained, which is huge. And then key +1 and attack and defense 7% for allies self-excluded, plus an additional chance of critical hits per rainbow sphere obtained. So a very strong unit, again, on a representative of Universe 7 team. Active skill here greatly raises attack temporarily and then causes ultimate damage to enemy and all allies, +7 to key. And then you can activate this when facing one enemy whose HP is 50% or less, or if there are 5 or more representative Universe 7 category allies on the team with 2 or more self-excluded attacking in the same turn. Yeah, a lot of conditions for there. Link skills, unfortunately, not all that great, but you're generally going to run this with a tournament of power team, so that does help out with key, but it doesn't seem like we need much key here in the first place. Now, Android Assault, Shocking Speed, Infinite Injury, Solid Support, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. Biggest weakness here is the categories it's on, but like I mentioned, you just are going to run it on this team anyway, so it really doesn't matter. I guess you can run on Universal Survivor Saga. It's kind of go hand in hand, right? All representative Universe 7 is generally in Universal Survival Saga. So yeah, best link partners here, and then stats are pretty decent. All right, let's go ahead and end, or at least ended the details or breakdown with this unit here, the 17 and Golden Frieza. This is a very amazing unit that they ended up EZAing here. Very strong here. Let's go ahead and dive into these details here. This was 150%, so they only boosted to 160 for some apparent reason. Not too sure why, but I think this is really what we're going to be seeing. These dual categories at 150 only move up to 160 and not 170. Again, not sure why they're ending up doing that. Super attack here is at the 12 key massively raises attack for 1 turn, causes cost damage to enemy. Not much help there, but your ultra super attack greatly raises attack and defense, and then greatly lowers attack and defense there. So here's what's interesting here. There's really no restriction, right? There's no restriction on this passive skill, so you can put this on any team that he's categorized on. Unfortunately, it's only 6 teams, but you know, those 6 teams you can just slot them in as a nice little floater, and you'll be good to go. So you have attack and defense 177%, Key plus 7 reduces damage by 50% for 1 turn from the character's injury turn. Again, it would have been nice to have a little bit more there, but they do make it up down here. Launches additional 2 attacks, with each of which has a high chance of becoming a super attack. Launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming launches additional super attack and has a great chance of performing a critical hit when HP 77% or less. And then key plus 1 up to 7, plus an additional attack defense 11% up to 77% with each attack performed, and then plus an additional key plus 1 and then up to 5, and attack defense 20% up to 100% with each super attack performed. So each super attack. And then here's what makes this unit so great, is because we have all this opportunity to do additional attacks and such. Chance of performing a critical hit plus 17 and reduction of damage by 17% within the same turn with each attack performed. All right, so we're going to be able to do 3 guaranteed, and then if your HP is 77% or less, you're going to get another attack, so that's 4. Hidden potential is 5, right? And there's no maximum here, right? There's no maximum here, so you can actually get up very, very high in terms of damage mitigation. And, you know, really in that case, you become so strong if you can get all these attacks off that nobody's going to really do much damage to you, right? So, so very, very powerful that they didn't limit the damage mitigation here, and making this unit, I think, a very, very, very good floater unit. So, it does have a problem though if you're getting AoE'd and you're not building this up here. You got to make sure the stats are pretty high, but yeah, you do have to watch out for that. So because it's within the same turn, so if you're just a floater and you get AoE'd, it might be lights out for you. So key plus 7, the defense 77%, perform critical hits for 1 turn, can be activated when performing 4 or more super attacks in the battle here. Links, again, not all that great. Tough and Nails, Brainiac, solid support. You got Shocking Speed and Tournament Power, which is going to give you enough key, and then Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. Again, it's only on 6 categories here, but it's fun to run this on any of these teams. And then a really, really good HP there, and the rest stats are okay. So best link partners are down here. MVP 17, generally, if you're going to be running this on Representative Universe 7, you're not going to run it on rotation, so it really doesn't matter your best link partners. I guess it kind of does for main rotation, which none of those individuals are currently available here. Maybe we get Super EZA for the Goku and Frieza, so we'll see if that happens first, because that guy EZA'd way too early. So anyway, those are the 3 units that are getting EZA. Let's talk about the Extreme Z battle. Let's start with Jiren here. So Jiren here, to complete his Extreme Z battle, you're looking for Miraculous Awakening to take less damage. Of course, this being a LR EZA Extreme Z battle, you are wanting to bring LRs to this this fight here. The nice thing about a Miraculous Awakening, pretty easy to build a team, because if you have Beast Gohan, that's going to be your leader, right? If you need a different leader, maybe not at 200% boost or opportunity for 200% boost, then you can just use MUI Goku, because he's 180% for Miraculous Awakening. So solid options you can run, pretty easy to develop a team. If you can bring some int units, great, because that's going to have type advantage. But yeah, I think this is probably the easier ones, especially if you have these LRs like Beast Gohan, like UI Goku, Broly, those units on there. It's going to be pretty easy to complete. Evolution Vegeta is great on this here. He'll do probably the most damage because of his type advantage there. So yeah, I think this is probably the easiest one out of the bunch to complete. Let's go ahead and go into MVP 17 and Team Universe 7. You're looking for Join Forces, and if you can bring a physical Join Forces unit on here, you'll be fine. And fortunately, probably the best leader you're going to be running is going to be a physical unit in Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken and Evolution Vegeta. This this category here has the most LRs you can choose from. You have a lot of free-to-play units, so I'm sure you can probably complete this pretty easy with free-to-play. But as you can see, there's just a ton of different options that you can run. But seemingly it's going to be fairly easy to complete as well, along with Jiren. I think Jiren's probably just have stronger units overall. Stronger units overall, but you have more options here against the Universe 17. Now, finally, with the Golden Frieza in 17, this is probably the most difficult, I would say, because if you don't have Broly, you're kind of in trouble. So the options here for LRs, you don't have the AGO Jiren yet on global. So, but if you are looking at this for JP, if for some reason, you can use this as well. But if you don't have a Broly, you're going to have to kind of concoct a team together and figure it out. You can kind of run a superheroes team with Piccolo as the leader. You can run, I don't know if you can run a full movie Heroes LR team. It doesn't seem like it. So superheroes, Representative Universe 7, Realm of Gods, and Entrusted Will is a possibility if you have UI Goku. So I guess Broly or UI Goku would be the one, but Broly is a transformation boost leader, so if you have Broly, you can just literally run anybody on this list, and that'll make it a lot easier. So hopefully you do have them. If you do have them, you're going to be just fine to go ahead and complete that. But you can probably, build a different team to help you out here as well. The really only STR units they probably do a lot of damage on here would be Future Gohan. Cooler might, probably still be able to do a lot of damage there, but that's probably pretty much about it. So there you have it, the team discussion. I didn't really, dive into the builds or things of that nature, but you have a good idea of what to bring, right? You bring a Broly here, you can run everybody on the list. If you bring Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Evolution Vegeta, you can run anybody on the list here. And then, of course, if you have Beast Gohan, you're absolutely fine. So yeah, good luck on getting all the Dragon Stones and getting all these units EZA'd. It's basically happening this time. So if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning. We'll catch you next time. Later.